And so moving on, Reddit bans forum dedicated to sharing information about would-be Trump assassin Thomas Crooks. So Thomas Crooks, the assassin of Donald Trump, had a Reddit forum named after him where people were sharing all of this information about the attempted assassination, trying to figure out who was he? Was this the person that they're saying he is? Was it somebody else? Trying to figure out this conspiracy. And Reddit took it down. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? People sharing information about a presidential assassination. So it says a forum dedicated to sharing information about would-be assassin Thomas Crooks has been banned from Reddit. Crooks was killed by snipers after launching an assassin. Yeah, we know. It violated rules against posting violent content, they say. And that archive of the subreddit shows it was a popular forum that generated a high level of engagement. And the posts issued on the forum varied, but all pertained to seeking answers and sharing information about the historical assassination attempt. Questions about Crooks' security failures that day and whether the attempt was an inside job were discussed in the section before the ban. Reddit did not provide any example of the violent content shared that went against the company's policies. Reddit is the latest news website to block information from being shared. Now, we remember with the last one, right, or during this one, we remember Fox News live censoring the discussion in a congressional hearing, which I didn't know was even allowed, right? They're calling it a live feed of a public official's discussion in our government. I guess they're a private company. They can do whatever they want. But actively, during the live feed, cutting the feed when a question was asked about the multiple shooters theory. And I'm sure these people were getting somewhere. That's what we're seeing in today's modern society, where they cannot, we see it with the hurricane, we see it with every one of these things. They can no longer control the narrative. The narrative has gotten out of control. I heard a comparison during a podcast recently where they talked about how the church loved the printing press originally, loved the printing press. And because they could print all these Bibles and get the word out about and frame the discussions in the way that they wanted to. But then other people were using that to spread information about the church's corruption. And they didn't seem to like it anymore, right? They called for people to stop using it. And that's what we're seeing with social media, right? They created these social platforms to control us with narratives. They created these social platforms so that they could push out propaganda. And now they've lost control of it. We are winning the information war. Where the minute a hurricane comes out and we see the response from our government, we're able to see right through it, look up the patents, and see that this could be potentially not as natural as we thought it was. The government is now scrambling, setting up intermediary discussion forums with social media platforms, trying to censor every conversation that poses a threat to their narrative. Scrambling because they created something that they no longer control. And people are seeing through all of their propaganda now. We can no longer be influenced the way that we were just 15 years ago. And so it says Google scrubbed the assassination attempt from its autocomplete search engine. Facebook warned against sharing photos of President Trump raising his fist in the air after the rally, falsely alleging that they were AI generated. And following accusations of election interference by the Trump campaign, and Republican lawmakers, both big tech corporations have since fixed their faults. But they're all doing it. They're doing it still, and they're doing it subtly. They're not doing it the same way that they were with mass censorship campaigns, the way that they were during COVID, because there's not as much profitability in this. And if they lose, they're going to be in trouble. We've talked about how Trump needs to just come out and say, hey, whoever is lying in these news media organizations, I'm going to come after you. And if that was on the other side, maybe that's a concern, right? Maybe you say, and maybe it should be a concern from our side. Maybe he shouldn't go after them. But it's absolutely election interference if you're putting yourself in a position where you are influencing the election, putting yourself in a position where you are propping up one candidate and you're the single largest purveyor of information in the country, and what you're censoring is true, factually true. That can be proven in the court of law. So, pretty crazy. Hopefully they move the forum somewhere else. But let's see if anybody has anything to say about this. Doesn't look like it. But I wonder why they would do that. Maybe because they were getting somewhere. As simple as that. Maybe a single post, a single position, a single picture, a single comparison A single paragraph could have been the reason that Reddit pulled this down, because they don't want to let you know the truth. They do not want you finding it out. Why would they not want that? There's plenty of violent Reddit threads. There's plenty of violence on X. And this is the reason that X is so important. And despite the constant barrage of violence on X, I still like to utilize it, and I'm still trying to grow my platform there. Go check it out, the Austin J. Adams on X. But I think that the violence on X is actually a psyop. There's constantly on X people getting killed. There's all these hyper violent videos that are being shared, just pushed right into your face within 2 seconds. You're going to see somebody, they don't even give you time to scroll or tell you what's about to happen. And you'll see somebody get like beat up or stabbed or something crazy. And it hasn't been as bad in the last few weeks, but I think that's absolutely a psyop. I absolutely think that there is these accounts that are hyper violent on X are being pushed to want to get people off of the platform and to create a narrative around the platform that is negative. I don't think that those are actually people who, at least the largest of the accounts, are actually people who are wanting to just continually push super crazy violent videos. I think that those videos are specifically being pushed onto X so that they can continue their narrative about it being an unsafe place for free speech and a violent platform with anti-Semitism. All they have to do is create all these bot accounts that they pay overseas and then push out all the videos to suit the narrative that they want with faceless accounts. None of those videos that are being pushed by people like that ever are from an individual. They're always from some 18 plus this, whatever this, like they're just paying people to pump out media so that it suits their narrative so they can go after Trump and push it as this crazy, unhinged platform. But we need that platform for situations exactly like this, where people can have discussions, figure things out outside of traditional media without any censorship.